Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. It's time for the Dudes in Blue, episode number 142. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
it's Nino. What's up, guys?
Dude, what's happening?
I just had a very productive day creatively. My creative juices have been flowing, so I'm feeling pretty good. And then I remember the game, and then I don't feel so good no more.
That's right. That's right. Well, the good news is that MLS is back, and the bad news is that NYCFC is back. So back to their old crap.
Well, that's not good.
So listen, we've got a good show tonight. That is for sure. We've got the New York Groove, where we're going to obviously talk about NYCFC's first game. Look ahead to the home opener on Sunday. We got we got Dude of the Week, where it's going to be an interesting conversation about that. We've got the Far Post, where we've got to talk MLS, dude, because there was so much happening. Literally 12 matches this weekend, which is just unbelievable for this league.
Unreal.
We got some overseas fun stuff to talk about. Rants, of course, which is also a fan favorite. And then we're gonna do our rapid fire Q&A to wrap things up, which we're gonna start calling that the short corner. That's been officially named the short corner, and a special thank you to Anthony Merced, our contributor extraordinaire, because that was his idea for the name of that segment. Pretty good name, right?
Yeah, I think so. Makes sense to me. So,
considering our team is short, every corner is a short corner.
And our patience is short.
And our patience is getting shorter and shorter by the minute. So if you guys are watching on the live feed on Facebook, yes, I have a green screen behind me. I'm testing out some new technology. It's not fantastic, but it's working as of now, so we'll see how the hell this goes. I don't know if this is going to happen every single time, but start dropping the comments. Let us know where you're watching and give us the follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, @DudesInBlue. But we're pretty much ready to light this candle, dude. You ready to get this thing going?
Let's do it!
The New York Groove. All right, dude, time for the New York Groove. We finally have a real match to talk about. I'm pumped. And I'm not.
Finally. It's just, you know what, now, whether it's good or bad, we finally have some substance that actually propels us forward that's not, being pulled out of a hat.
True. So, all right, let's start from square one, dude. Domè's lineup did not look like I thought it would.
No. To be fair, I think he caught a lot of people by surprise, especially when we're very used to seeing possession-based football. You got a formation out there that is counterintuitive of that. It's more of a, and I don't think people kind of realize this right away, but definitely at the end of the game, you probably realize that the game plan was not to have possession, and it was based more on counterattacking because you've got speed on the wings in Jonathan Lewis and Matriza, and Maxi to an extent in the middle of the field. I just not sure what to make of it. To be fair, I don't know what are we doing? What do we want to do? What are we trying to accomplish? I just taken aback by what just the formation and player choices. I don't know if I would have gone that way. I'm curious to know why Shradi didn't start or get minutes, to be fair. But again, it's a first for everybody, and it theoretically it kind of worked in the first half, but second half was a whole different story.
But here's the thing, dude, and our two goals were kind of against the run of play. I mean, Orlando pretty much controlled that game from what seemed like most of the game, right? Our two chances, our two goals, I should say, essentially kind of came out of nothing. I mean, Ofori's shot, nobody expected that. It was a great strike, but, again, nobody expected that to come out of the midfield. And then the second goal, Alex Ring's goal, was kind of like a wonder pass from Matriza, which obviously we're going to get into a little bit more detail. But other than that, I mean, it was just kind of flat. I mean, not that you expect it from the team from their first match, but again, I think a lot of that led to the fact that the way the lineup was set up and the way the lineup was selected, I don't think it allowed for very good, nice looking attacking football. It just didn't look good.
No, it was definitely meant to absorb pressure, and we think we have the players to do so. I think it's just that that's something that you need to practice very often. And I think when you put James Sands in a role that he's not completely used to, it's a lot of pressure on a player like that. And we saw what happened on the second Orlando goal. You kind of saw, a little mistake happen there that led to a pretty much empty net sitter. So again, I think you're right. I think it didn't look good. And again, I'm all for being able to absorb pressure. That's fine. But if you don't have the means to do so, it makes it difficult. And I just don't think I just don't think we have the squad to do that. I could be wrong, but again, I don't know. I'm lost at times with Domè, man. I really am. I don't know. I think the main thing this season is going to have to be consistency with these guys, and that means consistent lineup, consistent formation, consistent tactics. I know you can change them, from week to week, but depending on who you're playing. But if something's working for you and that's your strength, you got to give it 100% because you trying to play someone else's game is just never a good idea.
No, and I'm more concerned. I'm not more concerned. There's a lot of things I'm concerned about after watching this game, obviously. But and I want to get to some of the questions and keep putting those questions in on Facebook, guys, if you're watching the live feed. So I think the lack of a striker. We're not going to talk about the defensive woes just yet, but attacking, this is going to cause a problem, dude. It's going to cause a problem. Maxi Morales is not a number 9. He's not even a false 9. He's not even
5'9".
He's not even 5'9". So for me, there were a couple of times where I saw a pass come out of the midfield and kind of a long pass that normally a typical striker would make a run in behind the defense to get the ball, and he just wasn't. It just wasn't there. But that's because that's not where he plays. That's not his position. That's not his role. He's the playmaker. Whereas now you look like Matrica is almost being treated like the playmaker, where he's dropping so far back. It's hard for him to get involved in the game, and when he does, it was kind of lackluster with the exception of that one absolutely gorgeous pass through 4 defenders,
Yeah, well, that's where my that term consistency comes in, and you trying to play a game that's not yours. When you're trying to play someone else's game, or in this case, playing another position, when Maxi's best suited in the midfield, in the middle of the field, not dropping back too far, and being the playmaker, that's his best role. You got to put him there. I know he has goal-scoring capabilities, but he does it from that spot. If you remember last year, there was about 4 or 5 times that I can remember that he was one-on-one with the keeper, and every shot was right into the keeper's arms. It was never making the keeper move. And don't get me wrong, he did score goals one-on-one, but there were a lot of times
missed opportunities.
And you have to capitalize on those. And I think a striker with a different mentality buries those balls in every the corner. Time. And
dude, I would make the case that even Schradi would bury those goals 9 times out of 10.
Oh, absolutely.
Schradi's got that killer instinct. We've seen him do it. Like we've seen him create something out of nothing and be ruthless in front of goal.
It's the creating something out of nothing, and then Maxi can create something out of nothing. The problem is that he can't create.
But not as a finisher.
But he can't create something out of something. He doesn't. It was just right there for him, and even to pass it off and give Matrica a sitter for his first goal. It's just that's a botched opportunity right there, in my opinion, and I just don't know how much longer they'll last with him as a striker. I don't think he can carry the team.
Dude, it can't happen.
I don't think so. I think he's better suited in the midfield. If you want to put somebody there, put Yuri Schradi on the wings and let Matrica be that guy, because I think he's got more of a goal-scoring prowess than Maxi does.
For sure. Of course he does. The fact that we didn't see Tajouri Schradi at all in this game absolutely baffled me. I like
Yeah.
you're he's the attacking option. You take off Ben Sweat, who I understand's on a yellow card. You put in Tony Rocha, which I thought was completely terrible. Jesus Medina, for the love of God, has to do something, because when he comes on the field, he is literally invisible.
You're preaching to the choir, my man.
Then you put in Keaton Parks for James Sands.
That should have been made earlier. I think his height could have been much more useful later on down the line. I think he'd be more of a presence in the middle of the field and in boxes. In the box, if you can get there via the set piece.
How many crosses did they put in the box, or opportunities for crosses that they had to put in the box, but they couldn't because there was nobody in the freaking box?
Well, there's that,
or nobody of height in the box.
I don't think they didn't use their strength of getting their backs forward and pushing up the field. And I think Ben Sweat ended up having a little bit of a hammy issue, and that's why that side of the field was wide open for that Orlando goal. But again, if he's injured and he's got a yellow, when he comes off and you put Tony Rocha in there, he's nowhere to be found on that side of the field. He was playing essentially left center back, and that whole side of the field was wide open, just able to be attacked again and again and again. I mean, dude was like just I don't know. Did they put him in just because he's back in Orlando, or did you have to put him in for Sweat, or I don't have the answer, but it's just,
dude, it's too early. It's too early to feel like this. It's too early to feel like this.
The rent is too damn high.
All right, could we talk a little bit about, because it's coming up in the comments, we have to talk about Jonathan Lewis, who was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
This game. Here's I'm gonna just give you. I'm gonna give you my my little 2 cents on this, and you're probably going to agree. I would think you agree. He is not a starter. Whoa. Hold on there, buddy. Jonathan Lewis is the guy that you put in the 65th minute, who can run at defenses who are exhausted, not at defenses who are getting exhausted with you. He's a guy that you inject into a game. He's a guy that we needed in the 72nd minute, not Jesus Medina. It should have been the other way around, if anything else. What happened to Jonathan? Whenever we talk about Jonathan Lewis, in the context of Jonathan Lewis is amazing, he's come on as a sub.
Fair.
Have we not?
Fair. No, totally fair.
So, to start him, but not only that too, but look who he's got around him. Maxi's not feeding him. Maxi's not giving him service. Tinnerholm wasn't allowed to get too far up the field.
Yeah, agreed. Well, here's the thing. From Domè's point of view, you start him and you see what the kid's got, because he's put in the work. He has put in the work. Defensively, he has off in the offseason and with the men's national team, he definitely focused on it. He got those 2 assists, and I understand maybe that's not a premise for giving someone a start, but from Domè's standpoint, and people have been chirping at him about this for half a season and up until game day. If he's thinking, okay, I can give him a start, and one of 2 things can happen. He can bomb, and then he can say, I told you so, I know what I'm doing. He can't play there. Or he plays fantastic, and it's finally, hey, you finally let him play. Yeah, I let him play. He earned it, and now look what happened. Very possible that...
is he that conniving, though?
Not to be, it's still a decent decision, because listen, he could have performed. It's not that he doesn't have the ability, but now I think that you've seen that you've got to give the kid a chance, and if he performs well, we're obviously not talking about it. But the fact that he gave away the ball,
his talents where they're useful.
Again, well, listen, you didn't play Maxi where he was useful. You didn't play Matrizza where he was useful.
So is that the moral of the story here? Is that the moral of the story?
We're just going to play people everywhere where they're not useful. Again, essentially, it could be. It very well could be. This is where I want that consistency. I want to see people doing one job or the two jobs at the most where your left back and right back push forward, and they can be wingers. But other than that, I mean, you've got to have some sort of consistency. These guys can't be flip flopping every week with trying to figure out what to do. And you're not going to get the best out of everyone. And again, I don't know if Jesus Medina starting in that spot would have been any better, because you see him come on, and what does he do? He just meanders. He wanders all over the field.
If I had it my way, you'd start Tajiri Shradi and bring on Lewis.
That's fine. I think I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody agrees with that.
It's hard to argue with something like that, But
and is it a fitness thing with Shradi? Because if it's a fitness thing, it's one thing. But don't make him available if he's hurt.
Right.
Right. You just don't do it. It's a stupid thing to do, especially with this team with their injuries, with concealing things and things lasting longer than they should. It's really not a good look.
Let me get to a couple comments here before we get to. I want to know who surprised you the most. But CJ is kind of getting annoyed with us, saying that Lewis was abysmal. That the ball was in our end the entire game. He was never released up the wing to use his talents, and I did mention that. I did mention that our fullbacks did not be able to get up the field. He wasn't given any proper service. He had nobody there.
He also gave the ball. He also gave the ball away 2 or 3 times. He also misplayed 3 or 4 defensive plays in the middle of the field. So. Yeah, it really wasn't that great.
He had a poor game. He had a poor game.
Don't try to sugarcoat it because he didn't get the ball. He had a poor game.
Christian Smith says the moral of the story is Domè can't coach. He might be great as an assistant under the best manager ever, but he can't lead a club tactically. I think there could be some truth in that. I mean, he's always a bridesmaid, never a bride, dude.
Yeah, possible. Listen, it's still game 1. It's still nothing really to panic about. It's curious, and obviously
you took away a point on the road. We have to.
Right.
That's the positive we could take away from it. But there's more negatives than positives, I think, because we had a 2-goal lead. We had 3 points in our freaking hands, and we just gave it away. Chris Mueller, that was just pure luck. I mean, that was absolutely pure luck.
Yeah, and then a little bit of poor positioning on Johnson's part. But
again, dude, nobody gets ahead on that, but nobody boots it away. Nobody sees that ball coming back post. I mean, give me a break.
It's just everybody's kind of standing around like, what am I supposed to do with this? Is this mine? Is this yours?
Asinine.
And
then immediately the 2 subs in Dom Dwyer and Nani come in. Nani gets a secondary assist. Dom Dwyer gets the assist on Akindele's goal, and boom, there you go. The game is gone, just like that.
And again, they're riding emotion. I mean, you're talking about a men's national team player and Nani in his debut, a Portugal squad member. I mean, it's you 2 great players coming on, and I think the hype just kind of overtook everyone at that point. To be fair, listen, we really should have lost that game.
I was just going to say my next point that I wanted to make was that it was totally a handball.
Yeah,
totally a handball. Got away with murder.
If it were on the other end, I would be out for blood.
Yep.
But at the same time, I can see where it's not super intentional, but the fact that your arm is that far away from your body, it's just like it's almost too obvious to let it go.
What did Baldomero Toledo see in that little tiny screen that was like, no, that's not a handball?
I don't. I guess because he turned and his arms were just swinging.
We got away with
natural motion. I think he did get away with one. And
we totally got away with one here. I want to know, guys, and let us know in the comments who surprised you the most. We saw some new faces. We saw some familiar faces, but I want to know who surprised you the most in this game. Let us know what you think, dude. I got to tell you. I said last week that keep your eyes on Ebenezer Ofori. I said keep your eyes on him. Now listen, obviously we're going to shine a little bit more light on him because he got the goal, right?
Right.
But aside from that, I thought he had a pretty solid game.
Yeah, definitely more. He looked more fluid in terms of mobility. Definitely not so much station to station, but he's able to play a little bit of defense. He was able to push forward and. Again, just not being afraid to take a shot when you have space. Things can happen. That's a prime example of what can happen. The keeper's got plenty of guys in front of him, and it's harder to see the shot, and it's perfectly placed. I think he played well. I think the midfield trio is probably the best takeaway because They did a fairly good job for a majority of the game. Alex Ring picking up a goal and playing good defense, and picking up a yellow as usual. But for me, I think the biggest surprise, and not that it's a super surprise, but I think James Sands for being
he's getting a lot of nods in the comments, dude. He's getting a lot of nods in the comments.
Thrown into that role, and being able to absorb that much pressure when you really haven't played in the league all that much. He looks very calm, like he's been playing with us for years. Again, you'd like to see him get a little more meat on him. He's still a kid, and I think over the next couple of years, as he grows physically and mentally with the team and the sport, he's going to be a hell of either a CDM or a center back. Just a really good player. Still got a lot to learn, but I think he definitely gives us an option, a depth option in the middle of the field.
For sure. It's probably a good place to move on to Dude of the Week, dude. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude of the Week. All right, guys, that time of the show where we pick the Dude of the Week. And, do you give it to Sands?
It's a tough one.
Who is it in this game, you know?
In
a game like this where it's hard to take away a lot of positives, both offensively and defensively, it's hard to pick out somebody that single-handedly did what they were supposed to do and then went above and beyond. And yeah. I can't say the same thing. I mean, I could say the same exact thing for the Orlando side, right?
Agreed.
The only person that I would probably give it to besides James Sands or maybe Ebenezer Ofori is Baldomero Toledo.
Oh, what about the ref? The ref pulling a hamstring and having to
that's right.
Off. The
fourth official gets Dude of the Week for coming on as the sideline, as the assistant referee on the sidelines.
I don't know. What are I want to hear some of the comments.
It's all over the place. We got Ofori, we got Sands, we got Matriza for that wonderful pass. We got a couple of nods for him. Toledo gets a nod. Alex Ring for getting the goal and being the new captain. I think it's a mixed bag, and that's not a good sign when you've got 5-10 people commenting all different things.
And not for any one particular reason that 10 different people did great things. It's all because we can't figure out who to pick.
Dave is saying Baldomero Toledo is the only reason why we came away with a point. It's could be true. Now, this is a tough one. This is actually a tough one. We got a real challenge here, but we got to plow through here. And another nod for Toledo in the comments. Thank you, Facebook fans. You guys are awesome. What do we do? I mean, look. We didn't talk too much about Matriza. And I think, except for that one pass and that one shot from the free kick that he sent up to Atlanta, there was I don't know, I think he got kind of sucked in and subdued into the game. I don't think there was a lot of, it just wasn't fantastic.
Product of the tactics, but again,
first career MLS game, league game. Yeah. But come on, who are we gonna give it to, dude? I'm gonna let you choose here because I can't. Do we give it to Alex Ring for his first game as captain and for scoring the game-tying goal?
I'll tell you what. As far as I'm concerned, I heard that after the game didn't go over to the supporter section and visit the traveling fans. And my book, that's a no-no. I'm sorry, dude. That's the first thing your first game as captain, regardless of the result. It's not a bone-crushing loss in the playoffs. It's the first game of the season, and you got a point, and you're playing with new teammates, and you're the captain. You go see the guys. You go and wave, and again, you scored a goal, but I mean, I think for me, James Sands did more.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Sands.
That's it. All right, we're moving on. James Sands, he gets the first Dude of the Week of the 2019 season. There you go.
Excellent.
Congratulations there, James. Congratulations, my friend.
Our youngest Dude of the Week?
He might be our youngest. Yeah, he might be the youngest.
Always nice.
Dude, let's move on. Let's move on from this game and look at. Oh, before we do. No, screw it. Sorry. My bad. I am so disorganized right now. Let's move on to the far post to talk about other soccer stuff because, my God, there was a lot of it. You ready?
Yes, let's do it.
The far post. Oh, my goodness, guys. Boy, is MLS back. Dude. So, all right, come on. How many games did you watch?
To be fair, NYCFC, I caught a little bit of the Galaxy game, part of the snow game in Colorado. I had my hands full all weekend, so I just pretty much had everything on in the background, listening wise. But Atlanta, I caught a little bit of Atlanta. That was an interesting one as well. Just a little too much going on this weekend, game wise. There were so many of them, and then you had El Clasico going on. You had Juve Napoli going on, so it's a lot
of soccer. Oh my God, I watched
so much to take in. It's a smorgasbord of soccer.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I watched way too much. I literally just parked it. I had one thing on my TV and another thing on my iPad and another thing on my phone. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Just a couple of highlights here, guys. The Colorado Portland game in the snow was just fun to watch. If you didn't see any of that, just go watch the highlights because my favorite thing to do with ESPN Plus is to start at the beginning of the game and then just drag it all the way to the end and to see how there was nothing on the field and there was 2 inches of snow at the very end. It was an absolute disaster. But hey, they did it. Red Bulls and Columbus Crew drew. There was 5 draws in this opening MLS weekend. That's for sure. I will say I watched the entire Galaxy game where Zlatan Ibrahimovic picks up the game-winning goal because there's nobody else that needs to pick up a game-winning goal besides Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Mark my words, he is going to smash that goal scoring record this year.
You think so?
Dude, he could in half a season he amassed over 20 goals.
He might come close. I don't know if he's going to break it. I think he's going to win Golden Boot. I think Zlatan's going to win the Golden Boot. I don't know that he's going to beat Joseph Martinez's record.
I think he's going to beat it.
But that was a hell of a game. There was FC Cincinnati got a rude awakening when the Seattle Sounders dumped 4 goals on them. But they did score the first goal, which is pretty amazing. But Jordan Morris picked up a brace, who hasn't scored in 2 years because of that massive injury. But that was exciting. And then I got to tell you, I just want to touch on DC United here. And the reason why is because DC United is looking mighty scary.
And they're coming to town next week.
So and that's kind of why I wanted to touch on them, guys. Let's talk a little bit about DC United against Atlanta. So that was a phenomenal game. The LA Galaxy game was a phenomenal game to watch just because it's Zlatan. And then the LAFC and Sporting game was very, very, very exciting, especially in the last seconds of the game. But let's talk about DC United for a little bit. They were able to, number one, keep a clean sheet against Atlanta United. Atlanta United was the only team this opening weekend that did not score a goal. They completely subdued Atlanta. And let me tell you something, dude. I don't know if you watched the whole. I watched the game from start to finish. They look scary. Luciano Acosta is absolutely on fire. Watch out for him. Watch out for Paul Arriola, and look out for Wayne Rooney. That midfield is getting scary. It's just and they're coming to town, like you said. I am very nervous about DC United. Very nervous.
Well, listen, there were a lot of questions surrounding Luciano Acosta because of that failed transfer to PSG.
Fuel to the fire, man.
And they could have gone 2 ways. It could have been fuel on the fire, or it could have just been, hey, I really don't want to play for you. I'm done, essentially. Leave me on the bench, and I don't want to play for you. But he's not like that, and he's definitely leaving the summer window. There's no chance he's staying here. I think I read that Lyon might be checking him out soon, sending a scout this month to see him play. Listen, that goal he scored was just you could say Guzan should have stopped it, but that ball had some knuckle on it, and you see the movement at the very end that it just tails
In
away
the
from
pouring rain on sopping in the pouring rain on sopping wet ground, it's very difficult for Guzan to stop that. You got to give more credit to Acosta than you do to
it was a great strike, great ball movement. That it's really like trying to catch a knuckleball, and all of a sudden at the end it just dips. And when you're expecting I think the problem is that Guzan, I think, expected that to be a curler and have a little bit of draw, as they say, towards his near post, and the ball kind of went far post on him. So again, he kind of overthought a little bit, but at the same time, it still can't be discounted. It's a great strike from Acosta there.
Yeah, just to get to a couple comments here, Jamal is saying, "We will win, guys. Don't worry." I'm a little concerned, my friend. Javier said, "It sucks that DC is in better shape than us." I mean, they have a stadium. Christian says, "Bill Hamid talked all that ish, and Guzan lets that goal through. LOL." Yeah, it's true. Bill Hamid had some words to say that he's a better goalkeeper than Brad Guzan, and then that happens.
I love when trash talk like
it's fun.
When it's true.
It adds another dimension to the game.
I love that arrogance. That's why I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. When he can talk the smack and then actually back it up. It's just
but in fairness, Hamid didn't have all that much work to do in this game because they really kept Atlanta at bay. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, interesting.
Dave on Facebook says it's not an easy save for an MLS keeper. It's a nice hit, or for any keeper for that matter. I think it's tough. Yeah. It's a tough bounce. I mean, the weather was absolute garbage. So DC United very scary. They're coming to town, and then the last but not least, the game to close off the weekend was LAFC. At home to Sporting Kansas City, and Diamande puts in a stoppage time stunner to put the game to bed and send Sporting Kansas City home with 0 points. Very surprising result that game, but the way that it happened was just it was beautiful.
The West Coast got some firepower, man, between Zlatan and
Zlatan,
Rossi, Carlos Vela, and Zlatan,
and Carlos Vela, and Zlatan.
Yeah, it's just LA is a poppin' city right now in terms of football.
Yeah, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's very, very exciting to be back, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult task for NYCFC if they play half as well as they did. If DC United plays half as well as they did on Sunday. This coming Sunday at Yankee Stadium, they're gonna have their hands full. In other news, dude, David Villa scored his first goal for Vissel Kobe. So
good for him. Good for him.
Congratulations, David Villa, for scoring.
Too bad the ball couldn't reach Orlando. Would have been nice.
Oh, that's really funny.
You, David Villa.
That's really, really funny. It's I miss him. Smash the like button if you miss David Villa, please. Just hit that like button because I think
I'm curious as to what game will we stop hearing that name? Like at what point in this season are we gonna stop hearing?
He left such an impact on this club that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
It's fine. I understand, but at what point do we stop trying to make someone fill the guy's shoes and just back the guys we have as their own guys? Like Matriza came in and they were like, "Oh, how do you feel filling the shoes of that?" And he's like, "I'm not here to be David Villa. I'm here to be Alex Matriza." And that's the mentality that we all should have at this point. It's done. It's over with. He's playing somewhere else. It's nice to watch and root for him. That's great. But we got to focus on the guys we have and give them their own identity and let them express themselves through their football on the field rather than try to make them something that they really can't be at this point.
Yeah. It's, whatever. I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Was your SAP function working during the game over the weekend?
No, it didn't. I actually had to go to Univision, and thank you to Anthony Merced again for saving the day on that one because no matter what was happening, man, it sounded exciting. But I had to switch over to English somehow because it was just driving me absolutely crazy. So, yeah, it's just, some comments here. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place today, guys. I'm sorry. Dave says, class act by NYCFC to literally not even try to have someone fill his shoes as a striker. Not only did they retire his jersey number, but they retired his position completely.
No, we were not going to play with a striker anymore.
Unbelievable. No. He's like, there could have been only one. Anyway, guys, we got to wrap. We got to keep this show going here. The last thing I want to touch on, dude, in the far post is the fact that Mario Balotelli needs to come to MLS.
Oh,
he needs to come to MLS.
That's like that. This is that smack talk, that arrogance, that just.
Can I play it? I gotta play it.
Do it
because I have the clip. And if for you guys that don't know what happened, Mario Balotelli scored a goal, and then Instagram Live his celebration. I have the video here. Let's see if it'll let me play it. Let's see.
It's his first goal.
Let's see. That was from Mario Balotelli's Instagram story. I mean, all I will say is that a guy like that needs to come here. We have Zlatan. We need somebody like Super Mario.
If you can get enough guys like that to come here, it's even more exciting than it already is.
Unbelievable. Christian Smith says he's perfect for New York.
Oh, I agree 110%. I think he would soak up the ambiance. He would just be he would it'd be amazing. It would truly be amazing. He would just be, it's like a match made in heaven.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, that's it for the far post. We're going to move on to a little section called Ants Rants. Here we go. You ready?
Let's do it.
It's time for Ants Rants. All right, dude, what's pissing you off this week?
So, aside from dropping points and the relative unknown that is what is to come this week of the games, gotta talk about this the traveling supporters, that the good ones that get mixed in with the bad ones, and I'm not gonna address the whole fascism thing. I don't sit back there with the supporters. I don't know. And we don't condone that. We don't approve of that in any way, shape, or form here. We don't like that. But again, I don't know everything, so I'm going to refrain from throwing my 2 cents in on that. But the Orlando, if you guys didn't know, put a little promo video out of one of their maintenance guys bolting down a seat in reference to the event last year where one of our supporters took the seat out. I don't know how you do that. You're either a freak of nature or you carry tools on you everywhere you go, which is a little weird to me unless you're a maintenance guy. But again, a playful jab, but we're getting a really bad name, to be honest with you, when it comes to supporters. I mean, we have been, between the fascist dudes and us being called white supremacist FC on Twitter, and people stealing things and fighting people. Just the ancient Romans had a word for people like that. I believe it's called asshole. just stop being an a-hole. Just there's no need for it. This is not, there's no hooliganism. It's not here. And to go somewhere and just cause trouble, the few rotten eggs are spoiling the entire bunch at this point, and we're all getting roped in to a point where it's not pleasurable for some fans to go to away games anymore. And that's not fair. I mean, we do have a great set of traveling away fans. I know most of them. They really do a great job. But unfortunately, you got these bad eggs that are just really ruining it. And the timing of that with all the stuff that's going on, it's really, really poor timing. And it's going to keep expanding unless we do something. I know nobody wants to be a tattle or a snitch, but at the same time, these guys are going to end up ruining it for us to the point where we're not going to be able to go anywhere. down the line, and that's a problem. I think the team needs to be supported wherever they go, and if you can make it there and go and you enjoy the away days, God bless. It's a great time with everyone, but just if you see someone doing something stupid, be the bigger person and figure, yeah, give them a good, come on, come on. Again, just stop being douchebags for those people. I
That's
just can't.
the moral of the story. Just stop
I
being a
just can't.
douchebag.
Don't be a D-nozzle.
It's not
For the love
hard.
of God, it's really not. Like of all places, like it's a soccer game. Like you go to enjoy, and I'm the first guy. I love banter. I love making fun of. But at the end of the day, you shake the other person's hand from whatever team they root for, and you go and have a beer or a hot dog. Not a Yankee Stadium because it's so expensive, but in Atlanta maybe you can get some you get some good eats down there. That's also pissing me off. The fact that just never mind.
There's more.
For another day. It's for another day. It's for
Keep it
another
moving.
day.
There's plenty of rants coming back, coming at you guys pretty soon. I'm pretty sure there will be.
Oh yeah.
Very, very nice. Well, thank you for that, dude. Thank you for airing of grievances with our douchebaggery that's happening in the supporter section. It's really sad. Dave on Facebook says there's so much you can do to support the team without being a jerk. You can start a podcast.
Yeah. And again,
We can be jerks sometimes.
It's just there are multiple supporter groups, and unless you know specifically who or what you're dealing with, don't call out the wrong ones. It's not right. Again, if you don't have all the facts, just shut up. Just stop.
Fair enough. Dude, we're at that point where we're calling it the short corner.
All right.
And we're going to do some rapid-fire questions. The rules are pretty simple. I'm going to read the questions from Instagram, give my answer, and then Ant's going to give his answer very quickly because this is at the end of the show. And these are just fun to answer very quickly. Kerry says, Dudes in Blue supporters group. I'm down. I'm okay with being unofficial, though.
All four of us.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. So anyway, guys, for the short corner, I don't have an animated graphic yet because I just didn't have the damn time to put it together, but I will probably for next week. So it will come the transition. Time for the short corner. There it is. You heard the music. Away we go. Now we're ready. So, dude, I'm going to read these. These came from our Instagram story. Thank you guys for submitting them. I'm going to read a select few, and we're going to just blast right through these. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Upstate Strong on Instagram says, your go-to beer on match day. Mine fluctuates a lot, but I'll usually grab a Heineken Light.
I'm going with Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Fantastic. Let's see. Jamal Shanti 7 says, should the ringleader play a more attacking position because he showed some glimpses? No. Fantastic. Wata Gata Petersberry.
Wata Gata Petersberry.
First impressions of Rocha. I thought he was a hot mess. Agreed.
Just a hot, sticky mess.
Andres 4850 on Instagram. What are your thoughts on Domè putting in Medina over to Jory? Asinine.
Just not the way to go.
NYCFC fan 7. Should Medina be transferred to open up a DP spot for a star striker? He should just be transferred.
Do something with him. Just do something.
BT34 on Instagram says, who will be the next NYCFC striker? Ben Sweat.
I don't know, but summer window, he will be here in the summer window for sure.
Somebody's got to have it. Eric 7 Martin, why do you think Shradi didn't play? Because Domè.
That or not 100% fit, but to me, just tactical mistakes.
There you go.
That's why.
Henry Hop 123, most annoying MLS fan base. New York Red Bulls, just because I hate them.
Yeah, that. And to be honest with you, I think ours is starting to get annoying. Like I love most of us.
You can't vote for your own, man. You can't vote for your own.
I love most of us to death, but some of us I just can't stand.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then finally, this name rocks on Instagram. What is the starting 11 for your FIFA Ultimate Team? Remember, guys, I said you can ask us anything. So here is our starting 11. I'm going to put up mine first and let you guys take a gander at that. I'll put mine over me, and I'll put Antonino's over him. Anthony went and made a fancy graphic with his. But these are them. And while you guys are staring at these lineups for those nerds that love to play FIFA like me, two relatively good squads. This was fun. I love this little rapid fire Q&A, dude.
It's great because it forces you to be on your toes, and at the same time, it kind of you can get a little personal. You don't have to stick it to soccer. You can do whatever you want, and it's a kind of nice get to know you type thing. I like it a lot.
Very, very cool. And if you guys like to play FIFA and would like to play with us, there's a Dudes in Blue group on Xbox. If you guys want to join that, just search for Dudes in Blue on Xbox One, and you should be able to find us pretty easily, actually. Know what I'm saying? There was a comment. Roger asked about our scarves. I will have a pre-order up soon. I'm working on the page on the site to get the pre-order up, so just stay tuned. I promise the scarves will be up soon. And then we also have some new stuff going on the store as well.
We have some really cool stuff. And actually, if you guys are on social media afterwards, I will be posting something shortly that you all might want to see.
Fun. Very, very fun.
Oh,
dude, you want to know something cool? You want to know something crazy?
Let's do it.
We're at like the 45th minute.
That's it. Listen.
It's pretty damn good.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I think at this point we kind of got it down. I think we've got it. I think a season, we didn't have a preseason with the video. We had a full preseason. We had some wind issues, some health issues. But now we are here.
Let's keep it
Week
going.
1.
Let's keep
it going.
So, assuming that the weather doesn't absolutely suck, I will be at the stadium on Sunday, definitely getting some post-match interviews with some of the players in the locker room. Looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to being back at Yankee Stadium with you guys.
Come say hi.
Roger's asking about season ticket box talk. If you want to see that talk, head over to the other video. We did a Facebook Live unboxing. You guys can see our thoughts and opinions there on the season ticket envelope that we received. By the way, guys, I got a sneak peek at next year's season ticket envelope. Here it is. Sorry.
Oh, they just keep dwindling down.
I'm sorry. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys like the new format. Hope you like the segments. If there's anything you like or don't like, please let us know in the comments or in a review on Facebook or iTunes. We're now on Spotify, so you can check us out there as well. Make sure to subscribe if you like listening to podcasts on Spotify. But this is a lot of fun. We'll be back on Monday night, a week from today, after NYCFC's first home match of the season. And hopefully we'll have some better news and some more points to talk about, because that's really what we want.
That's it.
But MLS is back, man. MLS is back. I am pumped. It was a phenomenal weekend. Very, very fun. A lot of good games. A lot of good action. And hope to bring you guys some more of that soon. So without any further ado, we're wrapping this thing up. Until next week, dude.
Stay blue.